In 2000, I played Hero 3 on my father's laptop. 2024, I'm watching the preview for the next game. Actually, it looks different, but it feels the same. Here, I want to explore that on a very concrete example using 4 different games. To highlight key part of the series, I picked 4 games. 2 you're already thinking of, 1 that is about to be released, and 1 to keep things mysterious. Right now, I'll focus on the Necropolis castle only, showing how it retained its identity across the games and why that's a significant achievement among other games. It's important to mention that I'm not a pro player of any of Hero games, and I won't be dwelling much on comparing the Necropolis to other castles in pursuit of perfect balance. Vladislav, I need your help here.
Heroes of Might in Magic isn't the only game featuring the undead. For instance, in World of Warcraft, the Scourge faction, led by the Lich King, also leans heavily into dark blue tones and aims for total annihilation. Beyond the undead theme, necromancy and the relentless growth of an army through resurrecting fallen enemies are common motifs across the games. If you are new to the series, it is worth mentioning that here the game consists of a map exploring phase. When you gather resources, build your town, and impale into battles. The battles are turned based on the specific battlefield. Quick aside, the army setup is balanced around 7 slots, which can be divided into early, middle, or late tiers. In Heroes 3, the early game lineup features skeletons, zombies, and wraiths. With each battle you win, you gain more skeletons, creating a snowball effect that by endgame can even make titans tremble. Zombies serve as slow, defensive units to shield fragile skeletons, while wraiths drain the enemy hero's mana and regenerate health at the start of their turn. Skeletons, zombies, and wraiths. Using necromancy from the latest expansion, your army now grows by resurrecting not only skeletons, but other creatures based on the enemy's strength. Skeletons can now be archers, giving the castle a ranged unit in the early stages. Wraiths, instead of regeneration, gained a new ability, a 50 mischance, which is very useful when you're the wraiths but frustrating when they are your enemies. Zombies are supposed to be armored tanks, but in the majority of games I found no real usage for them. As for Olden Age, there's no public version yet. Castle details were shared just a day before I started writing this script. Developers of Olden Age, if you're watching, please correct any inaccuracies, and I'll happily make adjustments. For the first tier, I've noted these units. Skeletons, plentiful and fragile, the core of your army. Yes, they can still be archers. White, fast, effective for alpha strikes, can disrupt enemy positioning or regenerate numbers when upgraded. Instead of mana drain, they now steal souls, using them to heal. Undead Pet, a replacement for zombies, with similar traits. Hard to kill, perfect against melee, with the ability to self-revive upon upgrading. Now I've delayed long enough, time to reveal the secret part of our comparison, the Home 3 tabletop game. Why look at it separately when it uses the same units as Heroes IOD? As an adaptation, it tweaks some mechanics to preserve the atmosphere of the PC game while making it tabletop friendly. Notably, army setup rules have changed. On the battlefield, you can deploy only 5 units, although there are still 7 in the castle. There's no unit count. If you recruit skeletons, you get 1 skeleton card. This means no slow accumulation of skeletons to inspire fear in titans by the endgame. There's no skeleton warrior upgrade. Each unit has few and pack versions representing their advanced form. I won't go into the tabletop rules any further. We've covered the necessary essentials. Skeletons have no special traits here, none at all. Zombies emphasize their tank role with a trait that gives them a 60-60 chance of a 1 Warner, effectively reducing damage. Here, 1 armor is valuable by comparison. The Archangels have only 6 attack. Wraiths can heal 1 HP at the start of their turn, and their mana drain translates to removing a card from. The initial comparison of early tier units shows that, despite different names and visuals, you can shuffle these elements around, and it's still clear whom you're playing as in what tactical objectives you'll achieve with these units. In Heroes 3, this tier includes vampires and Lykies, both iconic units. Leeches are the castle's only ranged units and have AoE attacks, while vampires serve as core strategic units. As a mid-tier unit, vampires boast 3 powerful abilities. They can fly, ignore retaliation damage, and can drain life from enemies to heal and even revive fallen vampires, making them nearly invincible. Keep this in mind, we'll come back to it soon. In Heroes 5, the same units appear, but since Necromancy now allows you to resurrect more than just skeletons, you can fill your army with vampires or leeches. The alternative vampire version can stun enemies, but ignoring retaliation damage remains a more favorable option. The tabletop version preserves both concepts. Leeches deal AoE damage, and vampires can fly, ignore counterattacks, and restore 2 8. Despite their power, they can't effectively counter late-tier units due to the unit cap, but their 4-point attack remains significant. In Olden Age, we see the first changes. While leeches retain their role and look, there are no vampires. Instead, we have the Graverober, a unit with a long reach capable of summoning undead, with an upgrade that allows it to summon specific types. Same goes for leeches with a new ability to resurrect the dead. Before you mourn the loss of an iconic unit, let me keep you in suspense a bit longer. You might have guessed why. This shifts the focus from powerful undead melee to summoning more undead mid-battle. In Heroes ITE, the final units are the Dread Knight and the Ghost Dragon, costly units that have solid bonuses when upgraded. Knights land critical hits for double damage, and dragons decrease morale and halve enemy health with their spectral form.
In Heroes 5, Knights were replaced by Dementors.
In Heroes 5, the Knights are replaced with Wights, which are larger, more threatening units with a unique ability to guarantee one enemy kill. With enough of them, it might lose some charm, but early on, this ability can shift the fight. In the Olden Age, Dread Knights return, hard to kill, with a double strike morale debuff, and upgrades that specialize in killing either weaker units or high-tier ones. A blend of aspects from Heroes 3 and 5 for a unified death. There are no dragons here because, when attacking, they not only drain life from enemies, but can revive fallen vampires, becoming an indomitable force. Keep this in mind, we'll come back to it soon. The most powerful unit is rumored to be vampires, explaining why they now rank as the ultimate tier, with high speed, life drain, no counterattack, and the option to either be a fierce fighter or manipulative caster when upgraded. In the tabletop version, unit abilities are less varied, so let me focus on Necromancy. Here, you're limited to 5 units on the battlefield and can't increase unit. Instead, Necromancy gives you a discount to upgrade units from few to pack for half price after a victory. This is a good boost for high-tier units, a really good one. In examining 4 different games with distinct styles, innovations, and developers, separated by 26 years, this town remains familiar with the same recognizable face. When I hear Necropolis, I already know my strategy and how I'll play, adjusting only minor details. This shows that developers have identified what works, and they're focused on improving what needs refinement instead of trying to fix what isn't broken.
Instead of Voices Laugh, I'd like to say that I do believe that Olden Age might be the next Might and Magic game, and while being back in Heroes, feel free to write your ideas in comments. See you next video, and ciao!